There are moments in life when progress feels invisible, when our effort seems to dissolve into the quiet spaces of a day and nothing appears to move. We look at our own journey and wonder if we are falling behind, standing still, or simply wasting time. In these moments, patience feels less like a virtue and more like a burden we are forced to carry. Yet beneath those quiet frustrations lies a truth we rarely notice. Some of the most powerful transformations happen so slowly that we do not realize they are happening at all. Growth has a way of arriving quietly, almost shyly, long after we have stopped searching for signs. Most people experience patience as a kind of discomfort, a space where desire stretches farther than reality can reach. We want to see results, to feel change, to touch the outcome that we have imagined. And when it doesn't appear quickly, impatience rises like a form of self-doubt. There is a common misunderstanding hidden beneath this struggle. We confuse waiting with losing. We assume that slowness means weakness, or that delayed results reflect a lack of worth. Think of the times you planted effort into something, a new approach to your habits, a deeper level of honesty in a relationship, a change in the way you speak to yourself, and expected the world to shift quickly in response. When it didn't, disappointment whispered that maybe it never would. This is the quiet conflict within us, the need to move fast, held tightly against the reality that meaningful things rarely grow at the speed of our expectations. Patience is often misunderstood because we imagine it as stillness. But true patience is not passive, it is active endurance. It is the ability to remain aligned with your intentions even when the world has not yet caught up to them. Psychologists sometimes describe patience as tolerating the gap, the distance between effort and result. And that distance, that space between what we want and what we see, is where emotional strength is formed. If you look closely at any person who has grown deeply, someone who has learned to listen, to heal, to rebuild, or to rise, you will find that their strength was shaped not in moments of triumph but in long seasons of becoming. It was formed in the days when nothing seemed to happen, yet they continued. This is the part we often overlook. Slow progress still reshapes us. It teaches us discipline. It reveals our resilience. It clarifies our purpose. And slowly, without announcing itself, it becomes power. There comes a moment, sometimes after weeks, sometimes after years, when we begin to understand that patience is not a delay but a preparation. The slowness we once resented starts to feel like space, and in that space, something within us changes. We begin to see that not every breakthrough is loud. Many come in whispers. Patience turns into power the moment we realize we are not waiting for life. We are growing with it. The tension dissolves. The urgency quiets. And what remains is a steady, grounded sense of trust. Not trust that everything will be easy. Not trust that every desire will be fulfilled. But trust that the process itself is shaping us into someone who can carry the very thing we seek. This is where the shift happens. The mind stops fighting time. The heart stops demanding certainty. And life begins to unfold at a pace we can finally breathe with. In daily life, this understanding appears softly, almost like a change in tone rather than a change in events. It looks like noticing the small improvements you once ignored, the gentle way you speak to yourself now compared to a year ago, the easier breath you take in moments that would have overwhelmed you before. It looks like staying committed to a habit even when progress is slow, because you know slow does not mean pointless. It looks like giving a conversation time to settle instead of rushing to fix it, allowing understanding to rise naturally. It looks like accepting that healing does not follow a schedule, that trust rebuilds gradually, and that meaningful work is rarely completed quickly. It looks like letting your life mature the way a tree grows, roots first, hidden and quiet, long before branches appear. And it looks like understanding that you are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to take time. You are allowed to grow at a pace that supports you rather than pressures you. This is how patience becomes power, not by forcing life to move, but by learning how to remain steady as it does. When patience becomes power, time no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes a companion, quiet, steady, and honest, guiding you toward becoming someone you were always meant to be, but could only become slowly. And in that slowness, you discover that nothing was missing. You were simply becoming ready.